Evil doesn't always happen in the night. Sometimes evil takes place in the daytime, and we don't even know what is happening to us. For years ago, while I was still in Lagos, I passed a woman in the market who appeared mad and unkempt. She was chubby, so I wondered what kind of mad woman runs mad and remains chubby. Her body was big, but from her skin, I could tell she was old in madness and had survived on the street for long. As I approached her, she stretched her hands to ask me for money. I refused to give her. I don't know why, but I wasn't just led to give her money. I only give when I am led, not when I am forced to. She frowned her face, eyed me and hissed. Just at that moment, something changed around me. I was like, but I didn't suspect anything at all about her. The moment I walked past her, I felt a tap on my back. I turned, and the mad woman was looking at me. She was already a distance from me, but just her eye contact directly staring into mine. I could tell she was the one that tapped me. If she was not the one that tapped me, then something else tapped me. But that tap was coming from her or within her. I halted. I looked at her. She looked at me and I left without saying a word to her. I got home and decided to have my shower. While in the bathroom, just as I poured water on my back, I felt terrible pain. It was like I had poured hot water into an open wound. I screamed and fell on the floor right in the bathroom. My hands struggled to reach the top of my backwear. I had felt the pain. The place was smooth. It wasn't open as I had thought. I went to the mirror to see what was wrong and I saw 5 fingers stamped on my back. I am fair in complexion, so the spot was visibly red with 5 fingers. Looking at it, one will think someone had drawn a red tattoo on the spot. I immediately remembered the tap I felt on my back in the market. I knew that it was an attack that had come either from the mad woman or something within her. I reached for some spiritual herbs made from natural plants and applied on the spot. By morning, the pains were gone and the hand disappeared. That day I decided to go in search of the market woman again. This time I was prepared for any spiritual battle she intends to bring my way. I was ready for the fights and the attacks she intends to land me. I met her sitting somewhere around the street. The moment she saw me, she ran into the market. I didn't chase her. They knew that I had overcome them, and they were no match for me. Immediately we met the second time around the market since. I was determined to find her. She started screaming, so I left. I went to the market after 3 days, just to see her again. Since she screamed the last time, I believed she would have been ready for my return. When I got to the market this time around, I found her sitting at her usual spot, only that this time, she was already looking at me. She was so filled with rage. I saw her face boil in anger. Was she a witch in the form of a mad woman? I couldn't tell. I began to walk to her, muttering spiritual tongues. As I approached her, I spoke audibly. I was protecting myself from all attacks that I could see and the ones I couldn't see. I spoke the last tongues as I got close. The moment I was about to reach her, she screamed again and ran off. Everyone was looking at her. They didn't know that it was a spiritual battle between me and her. I decided to cross the road and find rest at a provision shop, where I ordered a bottle of Fanta to drink first. Right there at the shop, I met this particular woman whose baby was crying severely. She asked her salesboy to attend to me while she attended to her baby. I was drinking this Fanta and looking at her. As much as I love female children, there was something different about the child. And so I asked the woman if her baby was sick or going through hunger. She looked at me and told me the baby was not feeling fine. I asked what the problem was. She turned the baby over, pulled the dress of the baby, and showed me the mark on the baby. It was a red mark, same mark that had appeared on my back, just that the 5 fingers were missing. As I looked at it, she broke down in tears. Okay, this is what is wrong with my daughter. Oh, this thing just appeared on her back. This is 2 weeks now, and my daughter has been in serious pain. I've given her drugs, all kind of drugs, but she hasn't recovered. She pulled out a bag and showed me the number of pain relief syrups the baby had drank, the drugs she was given, and she said to me, even doctors do not know what is wrong with her. This thing I am telling you now. I heard 3 other women in this market are going through the same thing. This is not a medical problem. Someone wants to end the life of my child for me. I told the woman I was going to get herbs I would give to her to stop the pain. I quickly went home and returned with the herbs I had applied to cure mine. I knew immediately that it was that same mad woman that had attacked her. I suspected it was because of the same issue. She had failed to give her money after she asked for it. How I would find this woman I didn't know, but I knew I would if I put my head to it. First, I had to discover a way to end her wickedness and attacks on people. And the second, I had to ensure that she was alone in the market as I walked out of the shop to go home. The mad woman stood right in front of the shop, looking at me with anger registered all over her face. I saw her eyes turn thick red, like the color of blood. Suddenly, the blood on her eyes began to drip. I froze. I was shocked as I stared at her. I turned to look at the woman and her child to see if they had seen her as well. But they didn't. The woman was still comforting her baby. I returned my gaze to where the mad woman was standing, and she was no more there. Sincerely, I was scared. I made up my mind to return the following day to find the mad woman with a particular herb. That'll make her run from the environment forever because it was more like a wicked entitlement mentality for her. That evening when I returned, I couldn't stop thinking about what I saw at the woman's shop. That night while I slept, even though I slept very late, I heard movement under my bed. Something was crawling and dragging itself on the floor. It was strange and being very conscious of myself. I quickly stood up and ran to the kitchen to get a cutlass first. I returned and slowly lifted my small bed. Lo and behold, it was a snake, a black one, thick and big. On impulse and out of deep fear, I struck the snake in half and shouted Jesus. Instantly, right before my very eyes, I saw it split and vanish. Strange, I must say. I knew at that point I had won that war, but I didn't know who I had won. The next morning, I couldn't stand up from my bed. I couldn't talk. I couldn't do anything. It was as if I had no bones and was dumb. I couldn't feel anything. My eyes were just rolling till it was nightfall. I have never experienced such before. When it was 11:26 p.m., it was as though something passed through my roof and I became completely whole as though such never occurred earlier. When I became myself, I felt hungry as though I had never eaten for days. So I quickly made food for myself and ate. The following day, about 11 a.m., I went to the market to find the mad woman. When I got there, I saw a crowd gathered around someone who was lying in the gutter. I moved closer and peeped. It was the mad woman. She was dead with her hands separated from her body and one of her fingers completely damaged. While people suspected ritualists, I knew it had happened and left the scene immediately because my head became heavy. Some battles we face are not ordinary people. The world is dark out there. Real devils exist. Some in human form that, yes, we live with them. We buy from them, and the worst is we also date them. But once you defeat the spiritual, you in turn defeat the physical. My name is Speed. I have the rare ability to see, feel, and communicate with strange beings without any harm.